The year was 1995 when I became a part of CUTV. I was a freshman. Started working on high school football and then slowly moved up to doing Vulcan football and basketball. And then fast forward to coming back to grad school, producing high school football, and then a position opened in around 2001 for me as a part-timer, then 2003 as a full-timer. So I've been producing CUTV pretty much, we'll say full-time since 01 or 02.
I was a freshman and I came in here and a fellow teammate of ours, actually, Danny Beck, we came down here for the open house and I was a little more interested in radio, actually. And we came down for the open house and we barely knew each other, so we greeted ourselves, we went around to people, and from there on out, we came to some sports shoots, and then we just got a little more involved, and next thing you know, we're all down here, and that's how I got involved.
Steve Ruffing from the mean streets of Munhall came in as a blue chip prospect, calibrated all the cameras first of all. His tour, he put all the microphones on at once, which had never been done before, and that showed me that he was willing to do whatever it took to get the job done. Unfortunately, he didn't plug all the microphones in, so he had a lot of weight on him with no actual, purpose. But it showed me that he with his engineering background, that he could get it done. And on the basketball court, I think you saw that he may not have provided a lot of spark on the team, on the court, but off the court, locker room guy, grit, pure grit.
In the fall of 2017, a new member of CUTV emerged.
At a go-kart track in New Jersey, Devon was 4 years old and was a prodigy. And I unfortunately bet on myself to race him, and he ran me off the road. And I put that in the old head, and I said, one day he's going to come to college, and we're going to get him. So there's a recruiting battle between IUP, Penn State, Temple, and Florida State, and Alaska Anchorage. I knew Alaska Anchorage wasn't going to be an issue because Devon doesn't like the cold. So I really had to worry about IUP and Temple. And then we got him here, and he outside jumper, really the heart and soul of the offense.
When I came down to CUTV, because at first I really didn't know what I was going to do when I came here. Because I was always senior, I was always doing sports videos, like Prep Valley videos. I was always either playing basketball or traveling with field hockey because I was a manager, so I had to do that. And then there was a bunch of other stuff that I had to doing with film, so I just knew I wanted to do something with film here at college. And at Cal U, they had CUTV. Andrew Bacher, my mentor, he really didn't introduce me to it. Danny walked by one day while we were meeting down at Chick-fil-A, just to talk about D2L, because I didn't know how it worked. And then, I saw Danny, I was like, oh, yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. He was telling me about CUTV, and I told him what I wanted to do. So he's like, oh yeah, you would fit well down at CUTV. So I ended up coming down to a couple shoots.
Well, I did a lot of camera too. That's the replay camera. I did a lot of that. I didn't really touch camera one, which was the main game cam. I didn't really do much of that at all. That's how I got started. That's how everybody starts. You start off working the camera, getting the inside and out of the actual production. And I think that that's very important that they do that they get you involved from the lowest part of the ladder, if that makes sense, the lowest rung, so that when you're up at the top, you know what goes into it, each production, you know what happens behind the scenes.
One helps the other and the other helps the one, because if you're announcing, you're seeing what's going on and you can kind of explain what's going on. But if you're playing with that announcing background, you can say to yourself, hey, we saw this all kinds of times. Maybe we'll try a backdoor cut here, work for Coach Strom or work for Coach Sankum. Let's try, maybe fouling right here, just chucking three. So I think definitely there's a yin and the yang possibility and aspect to it.
From shoots to the court, the Brick Squad try to achieve the impossible.
ready for this? Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, to shine like this. In a matter of time I spent on some locked up in the back of the paddy wagon, cuffs locked on wrist.
I played basketball ever since I came out of the womb. I was born with a basketball in my hand, and that's just something, you know, I was born with big hands. So, you know, just put the basketball straight in my hand, I was able to palm it right away, and they knew that I was special. Played with some of the greats, Lonnie Walker. You know, he's on the Spurs now. I had a fallout with my ankle in high school, and that's just, you know, something that I couldn't bring to the next level. Also, Tyrone Nesby, he's at Wagner College right now doing his thing. But, you know, played with a couple of astounding people, played against great talent. It was great talent out there in Eastern PA. And, you know, just for me, I felt like I was always the underdog. Nobody really looked my way, especially like in practice. I was always told, oh, you're going to get more playing time, stuff like that, like by my coaches. And never really fell through. Always was just the talk of the town to get everybody else riled up.
I don't really have a storied past in basketball whatsoever. I played on an 8 to 10, I guess, team for a rec league, and I was 8, so the 10-year-olds definitely shined. I think I got a few opportunities to play in the game, but every opportunity I'd get nervous and I'd just throw the ball at the backboard and it wouldn't go in. It's just something that's behind me all the time. I think that, you know, I get visions of a 10-year-old running behind me, and that really throws off everything. It makes me go back to the basics on the court, and just makes me forget it all. Yeah.
I remember the idea of this entire team coming about. Me and Dylan were having a nice lunch of chicken fingers and fries in the CUTV editing bay, and he got an email and it said 3-on-3 basketball come out because, wow, I would love to participate in basketball. Would you like to do it with me? And I said, of course. I mean, it'd be great to take the court with one of my friends and just really tear it up. But it was just one of the things where we were so short at that point. We only had 2. We didn't think it was going to be a thing. We didn't think we were going to be able to find enough people to get this involved.
Colin and Dylan, they told me about it, and I'm like, all right, let me show my talent. I want to be able to show people that I can win. I am a winner. And that's just the mindset I have. I have that Mamba mentality. And, you know, I'm made to win, especially basketball.
Janie was he was out there. Steve may have made the other team laugh a couple times, may have created some scoring opportunities for us. But basically that rotation of Colin, Steve, and Danny, fresh legs. You and I, Devon, you and I basically played all the minutes.
I can't play much, actually. I've played, remember in elementary school, this is a true story. I went out for the basketball team, you know, and I went to a Catholic school, so in the Catholic diocese, it's a pretty big thing. Like basketball is a pretty big thing. I went to St. Therese, and they actually just won the diocese just a few days ago. It's funny how all of this is coming up. But I went out for the team. I went out for the tryouts, and I quit. I think I made it one practice, and then there was the other team where you don't have to try out. Everyone made the team, and I can't stress that out enough that everybody made the team, and I quit that too. And that's the last time I played basketball since the team. So my physical basketball skills definitely weren't there, but I think I provided that edge I think the team needed, and that's how I got a part of the team.
The Brick Squad is the pinnacle of CUTV teams. If you trace a line 20 years ago to 40 Minutes of Hell, the last CUTV intramural basketball team, we went 0 in 1998. So the fact that this Brick Squad team could come and claim a championship. Brings a lot of pride to my heart and also the alums that sat through that 1998 season where we just couldn't get it done. You guys could, or the Brick Squad could.
There was no real plan for the Brick Squad, but they quickly realized what they had to do to win.
It was basically just get Devon the ball, and I tried to get rebounds, put them back in, and try to keep the ball out of the other 3 players' hands on our team. It was probably one of our main missions.
For me, coming off my senior year, I felt like I was in shape enough to have my own plan. I didn't really stick with the plan if there was one of anybody else. I just thought it was like, I'm gonna score and I'm gonna do anything I can to make this team win.
I thought early on that this team could be a contender for the title, especially whenever I saw the, like I said, the camaraderie and just the intangibles that team brought. And I knew that there wasn't another group on this campus that could compete.
In the beginning of the season, we won our first 6 games, I believe, tied the 7th because I got hurt halfway through, and then lost 4 in a row. So it just kind of showed the 4 games that I didn't play, just how much of a loss it really was.
Halfway through the season, the Brick Squad ran into their first obstacle.
Losing streak was difficult. We had lost players, of course. Devon went down with that injury where he couldn't play for a couple of games, and Dylan, our so-called second option, decided to ditch out on us to go to dinner with his girlfriend, which really put us in a hole. I really remember struggling. I had to take the reins as the third option, and you know, when I'm leading in terms of scoring in a game, it's probably not going well. So it was rough.
I knew that we had potential when you, Devon, I believe, like broke your ankle or something, like sprained it or something. Could have been faking it. We were all taking bets to see if you were faking it or not. But you eventually came back and played, and that was a pretty big moment because we were like, wow, this guy, you know, he's all for the team. You know, maybe he doesn't pass to us as much as we'd like, but I mean, the guy is there for the team. Yeah, you know, people always say there's not an I in team, but Devon always said there is an M and an E. So I just never understood that one. But when he did that, you know, I was like, wow, this guy, he's puts it all out there, and I really respected that. I was like, wow, I taught someone something. That's what I always thought. It's like, this guy has the passion that I've been trying to feed to everyone, and so I really respected that. I think that was a big moment in our season.
Unexpectedly, the Brick Squad was hit with another huge obstacle.
I mean, it was tough. Without a coach there for quite some time, we were kind of a one-man crew. In terms of, we didn't really have a style of play. We just let Devon go. Just let Devon do his own thing. So without Darius, he was really our leader, and losing him was big. We kind of took our players' approach to coaching. You know, we coached ourselves.
At the lowest point in the season, the Brick Squad turned to CUTV director Gary Smith for some words of encouragement.
Well, one day we watched Saving Private Ryan, and I said, boys, men, let's picture if we were in World War II. And I said, I want a platoon like those guys that will just get off the beach, off the landing craft onto the beach, and just take a shot, not even think about it. From that day forward, they always took the shot. They didn't think about it. And that shot always hit its mark.
I mean, at that point in the season, it was like, without Devon, we're probably not going to win anyways. So I was just, let the other guys, get a shot to improve their skills. And I knew come playoff time I'd be back. Sometimes priorities get mixed up. I'm not getting paid to play. So I thought I would earn some brownie points at the lady and come back come playoff time.
I think that my teammates instilled that grittiness in me. I don't think that I necessarily had it. I think that a few of the other players, Steve Ruffing and Colin Kirkwood, those were 2 guys that really had the grit element. I think that they really put their bodies on the line. I know Steve would dish it off a lot of the times he would drive in hard and then kick it out to an open player, i.e. a Devon or a Dylan, and he would make them shine. And I think that, or help them shine rather, not make them shine. I think that they instilled that grittiness in me, so I kind of developed it as the season went on.
The game that reminds me the most when I thought we were going to win was when we beat the Chalupas. The Chalupas was our heated rival, and there was a lot of back talk between the two of the teams. I don't know, I kind of viewed myself as the spark plug for those games. I was really tough. That was really the only time I abandoned the golden boy role and kind of took on a Dennis Rodman persona, and really distinctly remember flicking off one of the players on the bench who was complaining about a call that never happened, and he just would not stop running his mouth. I remember just, sending him a nice gesture from our good pals, the Brick Squad, letting him know what's up. And once we beat them, I knew we had a chance to go the whole way, and we did.
After overcoming all the obstacles they had faced, the Brick Squad made the playoffs.
That playoff stretch was crazy. Just going from where we didn't really know what we had coming into the playoffs, from that rough stretch where Devon was hurt, we were kind of just chugging along, and then that playoff stretch hit, and Devon and I started clicking together. I started finding my three-point shot. Devon started finding his three-point shot. Our defense picked up, and it was just games weren't. I mean, we had a tough semifinal, I remember, but the championship game, I mean, we just blew them out of the water. I think I hit like 7 or 10 threes that game. Devon was hitting threes. Colin, Danny, playing great defense. We were even giving Colin some threes. I let him chuck them up there at the end. It was just crazy how well we were working together that game. But then leaving the team, man, that was rough. Because again, I know we weren't playing intramural softball together or anything. It was tough leaving everyone because we had such a great time and just dominated. I mean, we just dominated that last stretch, and it sucked that it ended. But now we did that post-game press conference right after, and that was a great way to kind of ice it. And then we made the banner, and the rest is history.
The end of the season was bittersweet. We got to the championship game after going on a little win streak in the playoffs. We're all clicking on all cylinders. The team is looking good, playing good. Nobody could stop us at this point, and nobody did stop us. Because in the championship game, Dylan going off for, I believe, 20-plus points, really tearing it up from three-point. And then myself still being a prominent shooter, still having that shot and touch there, just being that presence, that outside presence, the distraction that Dylan needed. And I'm happy that he stepped up, and it was his game. And as soon as we won the championship, it was a surreal feeling. I don't know how to describe it. It's like we shouldn't have been there, but we were. But we worked very hard for it. Day in and day out, we worked very hard for the championship. We deserved it more than anybody on the court. And I believe this group of people could go very far. I've always had faith in them. They're my teammates, my guys. Some of them are sadly going to be leaving us, the CUTV down here and with the Brick Squad, so that's going to be very hard to overcome, losing a lot of good people. And these guys just gave it their all to put in the work and to take the time out to go play basketball, win a 3-on-3 championship while announcing sports, reporting on sports, doing News Center, doing so much things for CUTV, and being able to win a 3-on-3 basketball championship. It's just surreal. And the Brick Squad did it. They ended up winning. We ended up winning. We ended with a post-game press conference. It was surreal,
actually started out the season beating this Chalupas team that we beat tonight. So we ended our season beating them as well. So again,
Full circle.
Yeah, it is full circle. Like Casey said on the way over here, she was talking about how really went full circle. But we really tried hard, and I think that separated us from the other teams. Other teams, you can tell they took it like a rec league, that it was, but for recreation.
We're
again,
different.
We weren't the competitive league. Again, just CUTV, bunch of TV guys. Yeah. We went out there, but we took advantage of no teams picking up Devon, and for the competitive league. But we played hard, and again, probably the game of my life tonight.
Yeah. What a great time for it.
I have a question for Devon, actually. Dylan mentioned that you weren't picked up by a competitive team. Did you play with a chip on your shoulder throughout the season?
Yeah, I felt like I had something to prove. I had to show everybody that I was worth getting picked up. There was a couple people looking at me, but it was just, they weren't giving me my offers that I wanted. It was
Story
really,
of my life.
Yeah, it was really bad. This team came with me with the right deals, right everything, good benefits. And I was like, all right, we're good. Start off the season good, beat the Chalupas, had 30 points. Everybody contributed that game, and then end 26.
It was a great season for the Brick Squad, but unfortunately, a part of the journey is the end, and they all went their separate ways.
Be fixed. Although we are champions, we can't forget that we have 4 losses and 2 ties. That is completely.
Could I talk
about that 4? All right, so the 4 losses, if you remember before, those 4 losses were without those 2 players over there.
Yeah.
So if it was us, wouldn't they helped us out? They helped us out a lot. And also the adversity. I mean, we were talking about how you got hurt. We've had 3 different coaches.
Yeah.
So we did. Yeah.